Oftentimes, when people hear about probate court, they don't consider how much probate court actually costs. I'd like to share you what those values actually are so that you are better informed to understand if something happened to you, would you want your estate to have to go through probate, or would you want to have an estate plan in place to avoid probate court? So the fees for probate court are set by statute by the state of California, and those fees are based on the value of the estate. And when we say the estate, it's not how much money the estate actually has, it's the value of the estate. So let's just say that you have an estate with a home worth $490,000. And let's say that home has that's a fair market value. It's not how much equity is actually in the home, it's how much it would sell for. And let's say $10,000 in various bank accounts. So a total estate worth $500,000. The statutory probate fees for that $500,000 estate to go through probate would be $26,000. This is money that the estate would have to come up with to be able to pay at the end of the probate proceeding. In addition to that $26,000, there's also other costs associated with it. We have filing fees, bond fees, probate referee fees, publication fees. That's another $2,000 to $3,000 in costs associated with this estate having to go through probate. So you're looking at almost $30,000 for a $500,000 estate to go through probate. It just goes up from there. If you have an estate that's getting up to $1 million, and we're in California, that is the median price for a home for a lot of counties in California. That estate could be upwards of $40,000 to $50,000 to go through probate court. This can all be avoided by having an estate plan done to avoid having to go through that whole process. Sometimes we have families that come in where they've lost a parent and there's a home, and that's the only asset that they actually own. And the family doesn't have money to pay the fees that are associated with going through probate. So what ends up happening is the family has to sell the house to be able to pay the fees and the expenses for their parent passing away. I always feel so horrible for these situations because it wasn't the family that knew that they were getting into this. It was the lack of planning from the parent side that's putting this burden on the kids now. And it's a burden that is so hard for those kids to have to go through and to endure the stress and the emotions of all of the time that it takes while having now this large sum of money that they're having to come up with. And again, most of them can't, and they have to sell the family home. And this is something that you should consider when it comes to estate planning, is how are your kids going to be able to care for this? And if you don't think that they can, it's so important to get your estate plan done now. Another really important point to make when it comes to probate court is how long it actually takes. So if you have a family where a family member has passed away, or maybe they are the breadwinner for the family, maybe all the accounts are in their name, all of the assets are in their name, and I actually do see these type of cases happen. When that person passes away, nobody may have access to their accounts. And probate court can generally take 1 to 2 years to complete, which means that family may have no access to that money until the probate court proceeding is completed. So that's years that could go by where the family doesn't have that money that they were used to. This is something else to take into consideration when you are considering whether you need to do an estate plan now or just let it go through the court system. What peace of mind do you want knowing is your family going to be protected?